Hi, Mr. Guillemot, Strictly Nintendo here. I wanted to discuss your recent statement where you said that Wii U owners do not want mature games. And I want to look at that statement by checking out some numbers. They're fun little things that I really like. And we're going to look at Splinter Cell Blacklist, Assassin's Creed 3 and 4, as well as Zombie U, all mature games brought to market by Ubisoft and available on the Wii U. If we look at Splinter Cell Blacklist, and I'm sure you have access to all of these numbers and probably a lot more accurate numbers than I have, but Splinter Cell Blacklist sold best on the 360 at 860,000 copies, roughly. Next was the PS3 at 800,000 copies, and then the Wii U at 70,000 copies. Now, clearly, 70,000 copies does not generate the revenue in sales that 860,000 copies does, but that's not the argument here. The argument is that Wii U owners don't want mature games. Now, let's look at the install base and see how the ratio of total sales to install base pans out and what those percentages look like. So, 860,000 copies on the 360 equate to 1.05% of the install base of 360 invested in your game. 800,000 copies equates to 0.96% of the PS3 install base invested in your game. 70,000 copies equates to 1.01% of the Wii U install base invested in your game. Margin of error adjust, we can just round that out and say that across all three platforms, Splinter Cell Blacklist sold equally to all consoles at 1% of the install base, thus proving that the game performed just as well, relatively speaking, on the Wii U as it did the other platforms, and thusly Wii U owners do want mature games. But maybe that's not enough. Let's look at Assassin's Creed 3. Sold 5.62 million on the PS3 at 6.8% of the install base. That is significant. I will give it to you there. 360 sold 360 sold 4.9 million copies at 5.9% of the install base. That is significant. On Wii U, sold 260,000 copies at 3.8% of the install base. That is 2.79% more of the install base on the Wii U invested in Assassin's Creed 3 over Splinter Cell Blacklist. Splinter Cell Blacklist, in my opinion, is the better game. It was a great revitalization of the franchise after Conviction and Double Agent laid that franchise out on the floor and took a crap all over it. I love Splinter Cell Blacklist, think it was amazing, still play it, love the gamepad features, kudos on that. Why Assassin's Creed 3 sold better, I couldn't tell you. It was so utterly broken I had to check the box to make sure that it wasn't published by EA. It was probably one of the worst gaming experiences I've ever had, and because of that game solely, I'll never buy another Assassin's Creed game. But that's not the point. The point is that 3.8% of the Wii U install base, which is 2.79% more than invested in Splinter Cell Blacklist, invested in Assassin's Creed 3, which clearly shows that Assassin's Creed 3 or Assassin's Creed games does sell on the Wii U platform. You could rightfully say that it doesn't sell as well, it doesn't perform as well on the Wii U as it does the other two platforms, but to say that we do not want mature titles and that Assassin's Creed 3 or Assassin's Creed games does not sell on the Wii U is false. Let's look at Assassin's Creed 4. This is where we get to bring in the PS4 and the Xbox One, which makes for some really fun math that I think you'll enjoy. PS3 sold best at 3.08 million, which was a total of 3.7% of the install base, which is down from 6.8% of the install base on the last game. That's a significant loss. 360, 2.69 million at 3.3% of the install base, down from 5.9% of the install base. That's a significant loss. Wii U, 190,000 copies at 2.8% of the install base. That is a loss of 1% of the install base as your customers. Now, if we look at the PS4, there's 10 million PS4s out there. It's moved 1.73 million copies of Assassin's Creed 4, which equates to 17.3% of the install base. That sounds impressive until you look at the difference between Assassin's Creed 3 and Assassin's Creed 4 on the PS3. We can mathematically deduce that 54% of the Assassin's Creed customers moved from the PS3 to the PS4, and that's where you see the difference in install base. So if we add PS3 and PS4 sales for a total of 4.81 million total sales of Assassin's Creed 4 on the PlayStation platform, that is 5.8% of the install base, which is, what? Down 1% from Assassin's Creed 3, just like the Wii U. Similarly, with the Xbox One, 840,000 copies, which equates to 1.02% of the install base of the Xbox One. We can mathematically deduce that around 17% of the Assassin's Creed customers moved from the 360 to the Xbox One, and that's where there's the difference in the install base. So if we add the 360 and the Xbox One together, that is 3.5 million total sales of Assassin's Creed 4 on the Xbox platform, which is 4.3% of the install base, down from 5.9%. That is a reduction of 1.6% of the install base. Now, we can probably theorize that 0.6% moved from the 360 to the PS4 because of the unfavorable stances that Microsoft took in the beginning. But when we look at it, the Wii U sold at 3% less in comparison to the PS3 and 2% less to the 360. When we look across the platforms on Assassin's Creed 4 and see that we have an average of 1% loss across all platforms, the PlayStation to Wii U, the Wii U is underperformed by 3%, just like previously, and is actually improved at 1.5%, up from 2% difference with Xbox platforms. Therefore, Assassin's Creed games do sell on the Wii U. It does not perform as well, but they do sell. So maybe I'm taking your statement too literally. Let's look at Zombie U. 700,000 copies on a 6.9 million install base equates to 10% of the install base. For examples, Wii U owners want mature titles. Now, you said that Zombie U was not profitable. I will direct you to a link in the description below, a video by Shawn Long, who does Nintendo Rants for Nintendo Enthusiasts, where he stated in the video, check it out, it's really good actually, he's a cool guy. If you got $25, and this is from what he said, on the low end, if you made $25 per sale on Zombie U at 700,000 copies, that's $17 million of gross revenue that game brought you. There is no way that Zombie U cost $17 million or more than $17 million to make. We know this because the game was pretty much already done. You were developing it on the side for the Xbox 360 and or PS3, and it was pretty much done. It was shelved for whatever reason. When you had your little partnership with Nintendo at the beginning of the Wii U, you slapped some different textures and skins on it. You reskinned it. You ported it over most likely from the 360 version that you were working on, added some cool gamepad features. Don't get me wrong, I like the game. It was a little buggy. There's some lagginess. It wasn't the prettiest game, but it was fun. I really liked it. I'm not knocking you or the game. But there's clearly, you ported over from a 360, frame. You added the gamepad features, you reskinned it, you made it about zombies instead of the space thing, the space zombies or whatever it originally was, and you changed the name to Zombie U, threw it out. It probably took you, maybe 6 months total to do that game? It didn't cost you $17 million. It didn't cost you more than $17 million. That game was profitable. In fact, all these games were profitable. And I know this because of what you said in your statement. You said Watch Dogs will be the last mature game for the Wii U for the foreseeable future. So what I challenge you to do is be honest and say, you know what, when we look at the performance of total sales in comparison in that ratio to install base, our mature games actually sell pretty well on the Wii U. The problem that we're running into is we're a business and we expect and demand a certain level of profit, and with the low install base of the Wii U, we are not getting the return in profit that we want to see. It's not that these games aren't profitable, it's that they're not as profitable as you want. Anybody who understands even the slightest bit about business and economics is not going to fault you for that. You're a business. You're in it to make money. That's okay. I respect that. But what I don't respect is dishonesty. And you, sir, are being dishonest. And due to that, for the foreseeable future, you've lost a customer. And that's a damn shame. because my PC was really looking forward to the Division.